That's a pretty good break-off shot from Ronnie. Okay, maybe hit it a little harder than he intended. You're trying to get the cue ball as tight to the ball cushion as possible. And he might be able to see enough of this red. It's just the whites heading over towards the black and reds from that angle. Look at the amount of side he had on that right hand side to avoid the pack, but that made the pot more difficult, and he's stuck that red up. Is it past the green to the potting angle?
One.
Using the pack to come back here. Just the cannon on this red. He's got to be a little bit careful. Not easy to control the cue ball. You're never absolutely guaranteed what's going to happen from that
13.
Sort of position there where you're canning into another ball. It's not too bad. Get on the black off this, I think. That got a bit of a bounce off the cushion. Well, Ronnie tried to kick the chalk back up into his hand there, but I think he got a fast bounce off the cushion.
Black. Ronnie Sullivan, 14.
Yeah, I don't think that was Ronnie's fault that time. Let's have a look at this white. Oh, just there, Ronnie stopped in his tracks. He was a wee bit unlucky there, Ronnie, when he potted that red. He had a little wry smile because it looked as if it was going to flick one of those two reds, and he'd have been perfect on the black.
Yes, a little bit of side, left-hand side in the cue ball. You say the natural angle would be to cannon those two reds, but players, when they pot balls either way, they always tend to put a little bit of side on the cue ball. Very rarely, if it's not a straight shot, they actually hit the cue ball in the middle.
That's quite amazing. He's just knocked the green back onto its spot. I've never ever seen that before. You always see something different on a snooker table, and I've never ever seen that before. Watch this. It's quite amazing. It really is amazing. What are the odds against that happening? Millions to one.
Follow through of 2 cushions here for the black.
These days on the tight pockets, it doesn't happen that often that you wobble a ball and it runs across into the opposite pocket, but it certainly did there.
Well, it's tricky, this black, because it's not on the spot, but he's going into the reds. He'd be unlucky not to be on one.
Ronnie had a fluke plant in the second frame, made 39 off it. How many is Stephen going to make from his fluke?
Nine.
Just lost the cue ball. Traveled a good 4 or 5 inches further than he wanted there.
Well, that wobbled 3 or 4 times.
14.
I'm not sure if they put a new cloth on for the semi-final. They normally do. So, you know, when you've got a brand new cloth on, they'll tend to slide in off the angle. The cloth was changed last night. Oh, he's ran out of position again here.
22.
You might just be able to get the one at the back of the 3 reds there to cut into the right corner. That should have been a lot easier than this.
He's potted the red, but he's not played it in too much of a positive fashion. Taking the cue ball back into bolt. The brown into the centre though. Bit of pressure on this one. All of a sudden, he's not hitting them as cleanly as he was in the first frame.
27.
He's doing a lot of smiling this evening, Stephen.
He might be smiling, but there's no happy thoughts.
Well, obviously he's not on that red. I don't know what he's looking at. They're all covering each other, so what has he spotted? Nothing will pot there, so... It's as if he's wanting to take. Well, what could you take on there? This seems a pretty straightforward escape back down the table as long as he gets over. Oh, it looks as if he's taking the pot on the way he's queuing at this. Well, that's totally the wrong shot.
Maguire.
I think he was so annoyed that he didn't get on that red to the right of the blue. He could have played an easy safety shot off this one.
Yeah, I think he was expecting the cue ball to go the other side of the blue and possibly back to balk there. But it was definitely a shot. I think played out a bit of frustration. Excellent in the first frame, but he's just let the standard slip a little bit, and he can't afford to do that.
Eight. Nine.
Well, potting this red, he's got a choice of reds, but potting this one clears the path for two more reds into the right corner. So he doesn't
17.
have to play any cannons, they'll all just clear each other. Just about okay, just overscrewed that slightly. Just wondering if the ball is coming off that right side cushion a little bit quicker than normal.
$25. $31. $32.
Well, Ronnie hasn't hit the heights of his previous round yet, but still looks odds on now. So we're 2-1 ahead.
38.
It's amazing. We're in the third frame. This previous round, the quarter final, the match was nearly over at this stage.
$46.
Quick glance at the scoreboard. And that
47.
puts him safe.
$53. 55.
He's going to do this, Ronnie. Any mistake, and he's going to punish it, because you don't lose your form overnight. And Stephen Maguire, I think that's why he was a little bit angry with himself not getting on the red when he covered it
62.
with the blue.
$67. $73 in a frame.
He's not even going to bother with the black. Stephen Maguire made the error on the positional side of things, and that was his last shot. Ronnie cleared up with a 73 break. He now leads 2-1.